Darkrai's Dream.
My name? That's not important. It's my story that is. I'm a little girl, around the age of 6 or 7. I've honestly forgotten. My best friend in the whole world is my Abra, and I lived in an old house on an almost invacant volcano called Reservo Mountain in Thomas Town. My story begins with a normal day. The sun was shining somewhere under all the smoke, and the heat was scorching, but bearable. To me, it was a very pleasant day. I loved to play in the tall grass. I almost never encountered Pokemon. When I did, Abra teleported me away. Despite the comforting atmosphere around me, I felt off, like something was watching me somewhere. But where? I continued to play regardless, and everything was fine until it showed up. I didn't know what it was. A Pokemon, maybe? It was unrecognizable. Just a big black figure with no real shape whatsoever. With eyes, big teal eyes that seemed to stare into my soul, as if taking it away from my body. I looked down, and I could tell Abra was trying to use teleport, but it couldn't. It couldn't leave. I couldn't leave. Suddenly, just as soon as it came, it left. No trace of it behind. Nothing. It just disappeared. Abra, in a state of fear and confusion, teleported us away, back to my front door. I felt safe. The safety of home. I was happy. Pleased to get away from that patch of grass. But another feeling crept over me. Drowsiness. I suddenly had the urge to go to sleep. To sleep on the very spot I stood. But I didn't. I powered through the day, knowing my family would feel concerned if I just went to bed without warning. I also couldn't tell them about the thing I saw. They were worried enough with me playing in the grass as it is. I couldn't tell them. The only ones who knew were me, Abra, and it. Bedtime came. Without changing my clothes, I jumped into bed and fell asleep like a light going out. My dreams for the most part were normal, but I suspected I'd have a nightmare tonight. I always do when I see things that scare me, although this one was different. My nightmare was normally me replaying the event that scared me again and again and again until I wake up, on a loop like a broken record. This one was different. I was alone. Abra was nowhere to be found. Not in my general sights. The only things around me were complete blackness. It felt more like purgatory than a dream. I tried to wake up, but I couldn't. Then I saw it. It was blacker than the night, but I could still make up the same black figure, with the same teal eyes. It was all so real, but this time it was different. This time the black shadow had a shape, at least a distinguishable one anyway. A big ghost-like shape, with a red scarf-like ring around its neck, that seemed to point up like hell's fire. A white flame-like head shrouded its eyes. It moved toward me, but gracefully. I opened my mouth to scream, but no sound came. I was helpless. It came toward me faster and faster, and it said,
Stay with me. I am Truth.
I immediately woke up in a cold sweat. It was around 2 a.m. I panted, trying to catch my breath. I remembered it so vividly. I had to tell someone. I walked into my parents' bedroom and woke up my dad. He was cranky and demanded what I told him, why I woke him up. I told him everything. Without a word, he furiously woke my mother up. She spoke in a hushed whisper, so I couldn't make out what they were saying. Soon, without getting dressed, my father rushed into town, and my mother sat with me on the couch, coaxing me with sweets and games not to go back to sleep. Abra was still sleeping, though motionless. I asked Mother if I could wake him up to play with me, but she took one look at Abra, stared at the ground, and managed to talk out words.
No, it's too late for him.
I didn't know what she meant, but I didn't question it. Soon father came back, looking worried, and soon my mother had the same look on her face, a look of despair and sorrow. Another man walked through the door. He resembled a doctor, but I had never seen him before. He asked me what I saw, and I told him. He nodded. He appeared calm. I could see a bead of sweat emerging from his forehead. Reaching into his big bag, he pulled out a shiny yellow feather, made into a necklace with a few beads, and handed it to my dad.
With some hope, she must have another night wearing this,
he told my father. I was tucked back into bed with a feather on my neck. I fell fast asleep. I had another nightmare, but this one was different. Still completely black, but I could see Abra sitting in the distance. I ran to him. As I approached, I could see he wasn't normal. He wasn't sitting there, but laying down, motionless. I couldn't tell if he was breathing, but from a glance, there were no signs of life. It came again. Same recognizable figure, same piercing teal eyes. In a low, rash voice, it bellowed.
Life is a lie. He has seen the truth. Let me show you the truth.
I ran. I ran as far as I could. As far from Abra, from it, as I could. I ran as fast as was possible for me, but it was quicker. Catching up, it sped faster and faster. It all happened so fast, I forgot I was dreaming. But how could I not? It was all so real. Faster and faster I ran, and faster it caught up, until it reached me. I learned, as my soul wandered the planet, the feather was a gift from a Pokemon named Cresselia. I wanted to return the gift, for I was thankful it tried to save me. So I headed to the Marvelous Bridge and waited.
And that, my little pups, was Darkrai's dream. My final thoughts on the story? It was actually pretty good. Again, it's one of those rarities where you see a Pokemon like Darkrai in a creepypasta because, hello, in the game, a kid could wake up from his nightmares. In the game, hello, and Darkrai is a nightmare Pokemon, so it should be in a creepypasta. Hello! But in all seriousness, this is a relatively good creepypasta. Now, it's not as perfect as some of the classics, but I still think it's relatively good. And one thing I do like, though, it got me thinking. If you guys have heard of the Unova Ghost Girl thing in the game, that could have actually been that girl. And she's a ghost. Ooh, ghost people in Pokemon games. Woo! It happened in Pokemon X and Y. It happened in Unova. It happened in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, Pokemon Black and White. And, why am I doing this? I have no idea. But, in all seriousness, this was a pretty good read, although it wasn't what I expected. As for a rating, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. There were some grammatical errors and spelling errors here and there, but I still think it's a wonderful creepypasta that does execute some of the in-game things pretty well, especially with Darkrai, because that is the best type of Pokemon creepypasta out there. And I hope you puppies like this spoopy little creepypasta, and I will see you next time. Stay awesome, stay strong, and stay beautiful. And if you see Darkrai in your nightmares, run.